Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be testing the test rides as we normally do every single week. So let's start with the Corvette D10. This is, I believe, one of the Simeon's ones you could do, so let's test this thing out. Okay, so this car, it performs quite well. I'm actually quite happy with how it turns. It corners pretty well. I've drifted a couple times and crashed once, but that's okay. The car performs well. I like the way it looks, and I like the way it sounds. Here, let's have a quick preview of how it sounds. Anyway, I do like the way this thing looks. I would definitely recommend it, but I don't think it's one of the fastest cars in the game, so it's not going to win you any races, I don't think. But yeah, I would recommend it. Let's move on to the next sports car, which is going to be the podium vehicle, the Ocelot Lynx. Okay, so this is the podium vehicle. It doesn't look like this at all. It looks a lot different, like it has a different color. So let's test this thing out, see how it performs, and then we'll do a test on the sound at the end. Okay, so for braking with this car, it's not bad, but I will not lie, it doesn't really take corners too well, but it's not terrible. Like, it's okay. I'll give it the okay. It's okay to take corners. Would I recommend you buy it if you can't win it? I mean, I wouldn't really know because I haven't upgraded mine yet, so I'd say yes. I'd say buy it. But try and win it from the podium vehicle if you can. But if you can't, I would still say buy it, but it's not a necessity. Let's see how this thing sounds again, and then we will test the next one. Okay, next up we've got the Kuruma Armored. Let's take this thing for a spin, and then I'll tell you what I think at the end. Okay, so could I recommend this car? Absolutely. It may not be able to take corners well, but this car is very important in GTA. Any new player should probably get this car because this car has somewhat, well, pretty much bulletproof windows. Because this thing, you basically won't get shot. I think the only way you can possibly get shot is if you get shot from the side windows, but if you really look at them, look how tiny they are. I don't think you're gonna get shot out of this thing at all. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend this because it's helpful in heists and stuff like that. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's like the best car for all heists. Maybe not the KO, because the KO you can't use a helicopter all the time. Anyway, let's see how this thing sounds again, and then we'll start testing some other cars. Not the sports cars, we're done with the sports. So this time I've decided to put my custom Stafford in there. Now, honestly, I think this is an ugly car, but let's test drive this thing anyway. Okay, so personally I would not recommend this car because I think it's ugly. But I will say there's one positive thing about this car. I do like the livery I put on it, okay? I do like the livery I put on it. But I just don't like anything else about the car. The way it performs turns horrible. I just don't like it. But let's just see how this thing sounds one more time, and then we'll test drive the next one. Okay, so I'll be very honest. First impressions of this car, I do like the look of it, but let's test this thing out. I might even consider buying this car because it's available to the 4th, I think, of May. So let's test this thing out and I'll see if I want to buy it. Okay, so I don't mind the way this thing performs. It does take corners well, and I do like the look of it. The two main things I care about in the car are looks alone, and mainly just the looks, really. But I also care about how it takes corners and stuff like that. I don't really think this car is going to be useful in any kind of given scenario for races wise. So the only thing you really care about really is the looks and the performance of the car. So do I like it? Yes. I probably might consider buying it. I don't actually know if I actually have this car, but I think I might have it. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, let's move on to the next one. But first, let's just test the sound again, just one last time. we've got the Kanjo SJ Coupe. Let's see how this thing performs. Okay guys, I just had to quickly point out that the fact that this car looks like a street car you could find in GTA Online. Okay, we've got, like I said before, this car just looks like a car you'd find on the streets of Los Santos, but this car looks alright. It performs well. I like the way it performs around corners and stuff like that, but yeah, I'd say get it. I wouldn't imagine it would be that pricey anyway, so yeah, I'd say get it. Let's move on to the next one, which we're going to do the muscle cars next, and you guys know how I feel about muscle cars. Now we've got the Tulip here. This is a muscle car. You guys know how much I like muscle cars. I don't. But let's test this thing out. I'm not gonna bother, doing the little test of the sound afterwards. I mean, you see it all the time anyway while I'm driving, so let's just test this thing out. Could sort of perform a wheelie. Anyway, this car, would I recommend it? Well, I would say no because I don't like muscle cars, but when I base cars, you hear this all the time and I say this all the time, but I base cars off of looks. And do I like this look? Nah, not really. I just don't like muscle cars in general. And the same thing can be said about bikes. I honestly don't like bikes either. But yeah, I would probably avoid this one. If you like the look of it, go ahead, buy it, but I would not recommend it. And to be very honest, there's one thing I also hate about muscle cars, and this happens a lot in muscle cars. On the hood, sometimes the intake hood can, be shown instead, and like the bug catcher, I think it's called the bug catcher, and it just shows all the time. Every single muscle car probably has it. And I just don't like that, man. I think it's ugly as anything. But would I recommend this car? Probably not. Okay, guys, so let's test the Peyote Gasser. I honestly don't like the Peyote Gasser already, but let's just test drive it anyway. Okay, now that we've gone over the ugly side of this car, I'm just gonna say don't buy it. Okay, so we've got the new Entity MT, so let's test drive this thing out. Obviously, I'm gonna say buy it because I like all the entities in this game, to be very honest with you, so let's just test drive this thing out. I think I don't have to say anything, but I will say something. This car is worth buying because I like the way it looks. Every entity in this game, I like the way they look, okay? So, just beware. I'm going to say yes to every entity because I like them, but if you guys like them, buy it. I base cars off of looks, okay? What can I say? But performance-wise, it's still, I think it's all right. I may have crashed at the start, but to be very honest, yeah, I'm just not a good driver. Anyway, let's move on to the next entity. Okay, so this is the Entity XXR. I actually don't think I own this car, which is a crime because I should own every entity in this game. Let's test drive this thing out, eh? Okay, the Entity XXR is probably one of my favorite looking cars in the game. I'll be very honest. But it's not my favorite looking entity out of all of them. If I had to choose the top three, it would be the Entity MT, this one, and then the next one. So let's go see that now. Okay, so this is the prize right this week. So this is the Entity XF. This is honestly my favorite looking car in the game, the OG one. Anyway, let's take this thing for a spin. I really hope in the future of this game they decide to add more to this car, you know, more upgrades to make this car look even better than it already is. Okay, I'll be honest with you guys. I think this is the fastest entity in the game. The fastest entity out of the entities. So this thing performs well. It looks great. It takes corners good. I would recommend it. I know it's an old as hell car, but it is still holds up to this day in my opinion. I still like the look of this car to this day. But that's going to wrap it up for the day. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe. If you guys want to keep me doing this, test driving the price ride, let me know by leaving a comment down below and I will do it. Alright, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!